Hey,
Dr. Kimberly, it says we're live
well, hello. There you
up
go.
there in the corner.
Up
We're
there.
live.
We're live.
Uh-oh, there's something live on your lap, Dr. Kimberly.
He's like, hello. He wouldn't be quiet. He wanted to be picked up.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I've created a monster, maybe a little zombie monster. We know a raccoon. We know about a moose, and we know about a deer. So what do we call a dog? A zombie dog?
You have to finger spell dog? Bless you. Salud.
Woof. Ah, my allergies. Anyway, so good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 22nd. Can you believe it? We are 15 days away from having been on air for exactly 1 year. Whew.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. So we want to say thank you to the Deaf or Hard of Hearing for rolling with us for in 15 days, it'll be 1 year. And we say thank you to Disability Advocates of Kent County and 100 Shades of Disabilities for letting us do what it is that we do. Shameless mug plug. Yes. And
exactly.
We are excited. We are in Fayetteville, Georgia today. Can you believe it? With Nigel's mom. Nigel's mom does actually have a name, but sometimes we lose our identity.
Hey, Rudy's mom. Hey, Rudy's mom, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good there. Sophie's mom and Liam's mom.
Or dad.
You don't even
gender
anymore. Someone calls your name, you don't even answer, but they say, that's Nigel's mom. Hey, Nigel's mom. And it's like, oh, hi.
You're just like, dude, I thought I had an identity. I thought I did. But, and of course, this is Purple Rain. He has about 10 different nicknames, but this is actually Purple Rain Barrington.
Purple Rain.
His name is Purple Rain Barrington. Yes. And he's a Yorkie poo. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that white flare being dyed purple, but I digress.
So he actually has a groomer appointment on tomorrow. So I'm trying really hard not to, just dye him at the top purple, just
a wee bit.
You know what? I really was. I was thinking about that, a purple mohawk. I really, really was.
That would be
because I do like this to him all the time. He looks cute with this little mohawk, and I'm like, well, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. But today, our show is about disability is a family affair. So Nigel's dad is either on the way or was coming, but Nigel's mom is here. Yes. And I think we talk about all the time, it's not just the person who has the disability, but their family as well. And, yeah. There we go. I guess he had something to say about this too. I think he wanted to tell everybody that I've rolled over him with my wheelchair. I think he was tattling on me. And just strangely enough, he still likes to come and hang out with me. I don't understand it.
It's good short-term memory for animals.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. I thought he would be scared, He's like, oh my gosh, she keeps running over me. I keep trying. I'm not just, disability is a family affair. It's a family affair. So, yeah. He's making noise.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, in Fayetteville, Georgia, the beauty of the internet. Don't know if people out there have heard of the internet, but it's filled with all kinds of great information.
Yes.
22 miles from downtown Atlanta, for those keeping score at home. And 63 degrees. Little breezy today, 10 miles an hour. So I'm just saying, in case you didn't know that, Tamika, that's the weather outside in Fayetteville today.
In your neck of the woods.
Yes.
In your neck of the woods.
And there he goes.
And here, it was snowing here yesterday.
It was.
Wow.
Big
it's
snow.
That's Michigan. We'll get one more day of snow. It's gonna be 75 next week, and then it'll snow the next day. It's just how it works here.
It's same here. It was 37, I think 36 degrees this morning, and I love it though.
All right. All right.
So, we don't have a lot of time, but we do have enough time to give us a brief synopsis of who is Nigel.
Who is Nigel?
Who is Nigel?
Nigel is, again, like you had mentioned, Nigel is a surviving triplet. He is 19 years old, will be 20 in September. I cannot believe it. I am in denial, but Nigel is a very compassionate, fun-loving young man who has a passion for radio, music, old school, as they call it. He loves old school, loves church, he loves the gym. And Nigel just adores hanging out with, the guys at the gym. Nigel, I will say, is just he's amazing. He's an old soul, as they would call him. He's an old soul. Lots of fun. Once he get to know you, he'll size you up, and then if you're privy to him speaking with you, he will. But he's a very friendly guy. Nigel was diagnosed with cerebral palsy and hydrocephalus and lung issues and failure to thrive and all of those things. But Nigel has defeated the odds. He has defied the odds tremendously. He is doing amazing things that I was told that he wouldn't get an opportunity to do. And I knew someone that was much larger in charge. And we just instilled in him the word of God and told him that he could do anything and be anything that he wanted to do. And that is what he is doing, the things that he loved to do.
One of the things that I think that's interesting, and Dave and I have these conversations all the time, and we really had it at the beginning of the pandemic, was Nigel is 19 years old and has never stepped foot, nor his family, into a disability network or a center for independent living. And one of my concerns and one of the reasons for starting the show was, how do persons of color get attached? Because we know that as a center for independent living or a disability network, there were going to be things that will come down the pipeline that will be available to those persons and their families with disabilities. They would definitely need to know where to go get tested. If they needed assistance with a caregiver and she needed to be tested, making sure that they stayed safe during this time. Where food pantries might be when it was time to be vaccinated. Would we be able to get vaccinated, especially those who were homebound and or those who may need transportation? And it was amazing that we have 15 centers for independent living here in the state of Michigan, and many of them had said, oh, well, we only reached out to those who have been a part of our database for the last 24 to 36 months. And how interesting it was to me, how many African Americans, how many Latinos, how many Asians, anybody who was not of European descent had not been connected, didn't know they could be connected, and weren't aware of the services that could have been available to them, which they still are. And so Dave here, Pastor Dave, being an executive director of our Center for Independent Living here in Kent County, his answer to me was, Dr. Kimberly, I think you're the right person to do something about that. And I'm sure
and here she is,
that together we can find a way to get the word out and make things happen. So how interesting it was that here, even all the way down, we have been in more than 20 states since last May. We have been in more than 65 cities. And it's amazing how many people had not been, and knew nothing of a disability network or a center for independent living. And of course, your first response to me was, oh, I don't want my son in an institution. We didn't think about being in an institution. I said, a what? So Dave, if you could elaborate on what a center for independent living is, or a disability network, we greatly appreciate it.
Sure. Well, thank you, Dr. Kimberly. Because yeah, and then we'll circle around, because what Centers for Independent Living started in the late 60s, early 70s out in California, and people with disabilities came together and said, you know, no one will have us. You know, people won't hire us. Places aren't accessible. We got to do something about it. So people started hanging out, and there's a little more history before that where this group first kind of met each other. But anyways, that idea just started popping around the country. And so, like, from the vantage point of 2021, the difference between like 1970 and 1981 is like, those were just like a couple of years apart. But it was like a long time, because we started in 1981. And I keep looking this way because people here, they want me to be in the 21st century. So I have 2 computer monitors now. And so here's where my camera is. And here I opened up the website for an organization called Disability Link, which is in Tucker, Georgia. And so before we went on the air, Tamika told us she's in Fayetteville, Georgia, and we've posted many times the ILRU Center for Independent Living link, where it has the whole list of the national list of centers for independent living. And so that's in independent living centers. We did invent that name because, and we, not us, but we, the wider independent living movement. However, as I like to say, nursing homes are really good at stealing our name, and they have a much better marketing budget. And that's why, you know, Tamika, when you heard our name, you're like, or what our generic title is, you're like, well, I don't want an institution. And it's like, that's the one thing we cannot do, is own housing. Okay. We can do pretty much anything related to disability that, you know, our board approves, in addition to the 5 core services. However, we cannot own housing because, and again, this is not to be taken as a critique about all institutions, be they nursing homes or group homes or whatever. But when you live in those settings, some of your freedom is given away in exchange for staying there. So a lot of times people say, I don't want to be in an institution, you know, right. And right. In fact, today, I'll tell you a fun story if we have time today. I was talking about just an awesome champion guy named Dwayne DeRoshi here in Grand Rapids. I mean, he would go toe to toe, literally, in his wheelchair with governors. And one time he actually ran over our governor's toes to get his attention, because Dwayne was kind of a little guy in his wheelchair. And so, and Dwayne's thing was, I want to live in my own house. I don't need to live in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And for us, it's like, where do you want to live? And I'm going to beat her to the punch, because Dr. Kimberly loves to talk about our mission, which is to help people with disabilities live self-directed lives. Where do you want to direct your life? Let us help you. Let's identify barriers. Let's move forward. And so that's basically what independent living centers, that is like our reason. And then our other main uniqueness is when you're working together and you discover there's barriers in the community, we work to eliminate those barriers. So as an example, is there public transportation from Fayetteville to Atlanta?
No.
Look at that. How did it's only 22 miles away. How can that not happen? And I've only heard stories because they don't let me out of the state. No, that like Atlanta has terrible traffic.
Yes.
And so MARTA, I know it's MARTA, the like light
Exactly.
rail train system. It doesn't come near Fayetteville.
No.
And probably tons of opportunities that Nigel could have if you had decent connection to the big city, because you live right next to the big city.
Well, I drive everywhere. So if there's somewhere we need to go, we hop in the van and we go. So that doesn't limit us from going. It's just knowing about, a lot of the organizations, a lot of them that are out there. It doesn't cater to what we need. So
Well, and of course, don't take this the wrong way, Tamika, but what if Nigel says, hey, Ma, I want to go by myself. You can stay home. Can he drive the van, right? So this idea of, and Nigel,
well,
he would love, in his mind, yes, he can drive he loves trucks, so he can drive the van, yes. But
oh my goodness.
yes. So anyways, and before we came on the air too, Dr. Kimberly, you try to repeat what you were saying, and then again, it's sins on both sides of the aisle.
I was disappointed that Nigel is 19 years old and has never been connected for a Center for Independent Living and or a disability network. And so as we have traveled, this last year, I realized that there were so many persons of color who were not connected, even in Kent County. They were like, well, I think we heard about them, but we didn't know what it was about. We didn't know if we could go. We didn't know how to be connected. And I said, well, now you do. and there is now no excuse now that you have the information. And unfortunately, when you kind of Google independent living, or Center for Independent Living, you see these old folks' homes, and that's not what we're talking about here.
Yep. And then, my quick comment was, and there's plenty of missed opportunities on our side of the table. Where are we doing enough outreach in a culturally competent manner? And cultural competency is, we've intentionally, to say, making sure our staff looks a little more like our community, that we have a person who uses a wheelchair on staff. The majority of our staff are people with disabilities, but until just a few months ago, we were all white, one Hispanic person, one person of Asian descent. And a couple of our veteran apprentices happen to be African-American. However, full-time staff, the answer was no. And so intentionally recruiting a person to help with that outreach. And we're just chomping at the bit once this COVID allows to get out into the community. And again, being able, and don't tell Dr. Kimberly, he's a veteran as well. And so he's starting a veterans peer group, because again, it's, as a veteran, you can make those connections within the African-American community, within the white community, within the American Indian community. It's like, are we able to make those initial connections? And again, we're not beating ourselves up. We're saying, hey, here's an opportunity, and we keep learning and keep moving forward. And don't either rest on our laurels or use busyness as an excuse. It's like there's these opportunities to connect people to us. And when we run out of capacity, that's what gives me an excuse to go to Lansing and ask for more funding, to tell our state legislators we continue to do good stuff, great impact. Boom.
okay, it's a progress.
Yeah, well, and unfortunately, in the disability world, we're not alone in the sense that now you're discovering a thing called an independent living center. Too often, I would assume, that through Nigel's life, you would, when he was 6 years old, you'd meet another family with a 6-year-old child with CP, and you'd be like, what? How come you're getting that service? I never heard of it before, right? Or Nigel's getting a service and you tell somebody else and you think everybody's heard of it. And they're like, I've never heard of that, right? So all of us, and part of us, we're service providers, even at Disability Advocates. All of us service providers don't do, I'm just going to say, I don't believe we do a good enough job just both providing that basic information and then really helping people navigate, you know, so that you find all those available resources. Right. So as a spoiler alert for a future show, we had a good conversation yesterday with the people of First Steps Kent, because First Steps Kent would be where you were 20 years ago, Tamika. They work with their target population is 0 to 5. Now, of course, when you're talking about children 0 to 5, you're really talking about their parents that you're working with, but it's about helping that child get connected to supports, whatever those supports are, because every child needs books at home. Yeah. And parents that, you know, like what kind of fun. Oh, I wept. I was at the store 2 weeks ago, and this kid, if he was 15 months old, he was, you know, 15 and a half, whatever that saying's supposed to be. And he was getting all fussy, kind of like your Skip there, Dr. Kimberly.
And he's looking around for something else to tear up, and I'm like, what are you touching now?
And this little kid, his mom handed him her phone, and this little baby is playing on her cell phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what that's doing to that little kid's brain, but he needs to get outside and eat dirt. That's what little kids are supposed to do, is be outside and eat dirt. But I digress. So anyways, that conversation with First Steps Kent is, we were asking, and again, we were just asking the question, no accusations, like, how well are you reaching out to those families that discover, yep, my 1-week-old baby has Down syndrome, CP, is blind. What are those opportunities? What are those sports to help that child fully develop? And so anyways, it was a great conversation, and the promise is future conversations about, if it's not us, are there other people in the disability community to do that education and connection and navigation? Because navigation is helping people find their way through.
We have a service here. I don't know if it's still up and running, but it was called Babies Can't Wait. And that was what Nigel was in when he came home. So he did get those services. He was had the opportunity to go to a daycare center once he got a little bit well, I'll say healthier, when he was a baby. And they would transport him. It was such a long ride. But on the little bus, they had a staff of 2 nurses, and the oxygen tanks, you know, if the baby ran out of oxygen, and they didn't allow no more than 3 babies on the bus. And it took me a minute to allow him to attend, but I knew that me allowing him to attend would help him with social skills, even as a baby. So I would drive behind the bus. And literally, I'm just not that parent to hand my child off. That's not who we are. And I'm very involved. So I would drive behind this bus, and it would take like an hour and a half to get to this place, because they made stops to pick up the other babies. And you don't just pick up the baby and the baby jump on the bus. These babies, they were in like carrier seats. So you had to hook them up to the oxygen, make sure, to the tanks in the bus. So it was very interesting. And when we arrived, the nurses and the staff were nurses. So I felt really good that he was in good hands with this nursery that he would attend. And then they eventually opened one on the south side, which was much closer to our home. And that has closed. I heard that it closed down. But so in the Babies Can't Wait program, and he received all his therapies from the time he came home. He started receiving his OT, PT, and speech. So he's been in therapy for 19 plus years.
Excellent. Yeah, and so getting connected to those services, and then, you know, hanging out with the folks at Disability Link just down the road in Tucker.
Yeah.
They have an awesome set of services. You know, it looks like a pretty great organization.
I'm gonna check it out. I am gonna
Yeah.
check it out. I think I know he was awarded the Comp Now waiver. He had to have been about 8 or 10 years old, but every time we would check on the service, you know, to see if anything was available, because they would pay for someone to come in the home, almost like in-home respite, or pay for him to go to a camp. It was always no funds available, no funds available. My husband and I decided that we were not going to use it. We would allow another family member to use it who was less fortunate. And that would give another child an opportunity. But we always paid out of pocket for camps for Nigel to attend. If it wasn't I say a camp that was sponsored, we always paid out of pocket for Nigel to attend camp or whatever activities that were going on with the disability in the disability community. You know, we would get him there. We would get in there. So he's done things like golf, ice skiing, or hockey, I should say, and tennis and basketball and all of that. And, you know, each time I was like, you want to go back? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But we never not gave him the opportunity to participate and go. And I think it was 2020, last year, he participated in his first weightlifting competition with the Special Olympics. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so he was very excited about going back, but of course, COVID and that ended that little thing. So things are beginning to get back in motion very slowly. But a lot of the activities, you know, I have to really convince him, let's do it. I've signed you up. I've paid this money. You're going to go. Whether you're going to go and get your t-shirt or not, you're going. So, but yeah.
So you feel as though you've done well without having been connected to any other type of resource. Because what I hear you saying is that the two of you, your husband and yourself, were able to afford having Nigel and all the costs associated.
Yes. Yes.
Well, we are now at the 4:32 hour. We just want to stop and say thank you so much to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for rolling with us for 1 year. We say thank you to Disability Advocates of Kent County and 100 Shades of Disability for sponsoring us to do what it is that we do. I want to say thank you to my wonderful little dog that's back there, providing you with all this extra background noise as he rips up paper and plays with his chew toy and is chewing the top to my boss water. Yes. And he was trying to get my zombie virus, but yes, I think my look to the left kind of got to him, and so he stopped. Today we are in Fayetteville, Georgia, and we are talking to Nigel's mom. Actually, her name just happens to be Miss Tamika Mans. Yes. And she has a story that I believe is unique because there are not many families who are financially prepared to take care of a child that has a disability. But she has told us almost for the last half hour how she has afforded all of these wonderful opportunities for Nigel to participate in life. And I mean, we just don't always hear those type of stories, you know, where a child that's born into a family, the only one with a disability, and a family being able to afford all of the wonder opportunities that you have afforded Nigel over these last 19 years. But we have given her the information to connect to. It is called Disability Link, which is about 22 miles, which probably roughly about maybe 20-30 minutes away from where she lives. But if you're in the Fayetteville, Georgia area, you can connect with them. And I believe that Pastor Dave is putting it in our live link now so that you can have that information. And it will tell you all of the different counties that they service. And so, I mean, I think that it's still nice to be able to have that connection. Even during a pandemic, we know that I think we did it a couple of months ago where we went and visited 16 different centers for independent living. We did all 15 here in the state of Michigan, and then we went to California and visited a center for independent living, and how awesome it was to go to the epicenter of where it all began in California. If you have not watched the movie, it's called Crip Camp, and it was produced by former President Obama and his wife, Michelle. It's awesome, and it talks about what disability really looked like back in the 60s, and how there was no other place for them to go, but there was this camp. It was called Crip Camp, and they would go there, just the bonds and the relationships that they would form, with each other. It was a place where they were free to be themselves, regardless of what their ability or non-ability was. But it's a great movie. Please take the time. They won all kinds of awards, and take the time to watch the movie. And you don't have to have a person in your family with a disability to watch it. It's just maybe a starting point for you to become more sensitive. Because now, as more people are recovering from COVID, they are having some long lasting effects. That group of people are called long haulers, and they're now discovering that they have some neurological disabilities. And so we have a whole new group of people who are coming into the disability community due to COVID-19. And so it's just nice, because there's not one person that I know that has not been touched, affected, or infected with COVID-19 and can say, hey, things are a lot different now. And so this will give you an opportunity to just kind of get a little bit more sensitive. And am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Dr. Kimberly,
Yes.
I mean, it always, because when people say that, am I my brother's keeper?
Mhm.
They forget that they're quoting the words of the first murderer, right? Who used that as a defense. Cain is like, hey, where's your brother? What? Am I my brother's keeper? It's like that. And then this other guy came along. Let's just say he might have been a long-haired carpenter. Nothing against long-haired guys. And he said, yeah, you are your brother and your sister's keeper. I'm just saying. But that's a different story. We don't want to digress too far, because we're non-sectarian here at Disability Advocates. We're not proselytizing. We're just stating facts.
That's all we're doing.
According to scriptures of the Hebrew nation and Christian people. Just facts. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, we digress. So, Tamika, you were going to say something.
Yes, I would like to thank Dr. Kimberly for inviting me, allowing me to come in and get this opportunity to get this information. And definitely I will spread the information that I received. It has just been amazing hearing all the opportunities that are out there, that our children, that our disability community that doesn't even know exist. And so it's a lot of funding, and a lot of parents just can't afford it and have no clue where to start. So I will do my part with sharing this information. Nigel used to attend the Joseph Sam School, and it was a school here in Fayetteville County. It's a school here in Fayetteville that is for special needs children. And we moved in this area because of the school. And it's an amazing school, but we transferred him into what we call the real world, which is high school. And he did very well. And now we are homeschooling due to COVID. But I am most grateful to Dr. Kimberly. Thank you, Pastor Dave, for the humor and sharing the information with me as well. And also to Beth, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, again, thanks for inviting us down to Georgia. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's all over our country, as Dr. Kimberly noted, we're experiencing people who are living self-directed lives, people getting what they need, and at the same time, people looking for that hand up, and how are we helping to make that connection happen? Because cool stuff happens when we work together.
Absolutely. Yes, it does.
We want to say hello to Shayna, who is watching. I do have on her earrings today. She made these. So yes, check her out at Get Crocheted by Shayna on Facebook. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Shayna Thomas. We say thank you. We say thank you to Zipporah Starks, who's watching from Detroit, Michigan. Wow. Because we're over here on this side of the state, and they're over there on that side of the state.
I don't know if you can do that with Georgia, Tamika, but this is Michigan.
This is how we do it, Michigan. Where do you live? Over here. Mm-hmm. And over there. Sometimes over there, but we're over there.
Over there.
Oh, wait, where? I can't find it because I don't know if you've ever heard of the magazine New Mobility, but the cover story this month is for Dr. Kimberly. See, this is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and Dr. Kimberly to come up here to go glamping. The head article is glamping from an accessible way.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you see that? It went from, yes, Dr. Kimberly, glamping. It was,
I'm going to get her and Stanley out glamping. It's going to happen.
It's gonna
and
happen.
We're going to be live when that happens, Tamika. Live from the campfire.
Invite me. I would love to see it. I can just imagine how she's gonna roll up at this camp.
There's some beautiful accessible camping right up here in the Pinky. It's going to happen.
But she'll love it. Let me tell you, those cabins, when we first went, I have a thing.
no, do not know, Dave.
Yes. You gotta do it. You're gonna go in that camp and you're gonna be in an air-conditioned cabin. You're gonna love it.
Air conditioning.
Roll.
It is glamping. It is glamping. No, like life on your back with a backpack. This is glamping. We'll let air conditioning happen.
Yes. Yes. That's the only way I could go, Dr. Kimberly, because the hot flashes would take me out altogether. So if air is not involved, you can count me out.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
And that's another.
Boy, he's just waiting. He likes that. He likes when people conspire about me going glamping. Yes.
Just saying, it can happen.
It can happen.
Okay. It can happen. It can happen.
Another time, but not no time soon.
I gotta write it on my Post-it note here. How do I not have my pen at the right? Anyways.
You know what? It is now 4:43. I want to say thank you so much for coming. And I think this was probably more of an informational session on today. And you really do have a great story. I'm honored to have the opportunity to have you to share it with me, privately. But we just want to make sure that all persons have an opportunity to be connected, to get the very best that there is available to them so that they can live their own self-directed life. I mean, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother show. When I had to be introduced to a Center for Independent Living. And, but all we can say is, look at me now. Yeah. Mm.
The queen you are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, dear. And now they're going to make me go glamping. Yes. Okay. But we were hoping, is Nigel hanging around? Can Nigel come out and say hello?
Could I go get him really fast?
You
Yeah,
may.
absolutely.
You have to.
Okay, let me get it really quick.
All right. So while Miss Tamika goes to get Nigel, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in on today. We're not quite signing off. We want to say thank you to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing for rolling with us. And yes, today we have our Our own beverages of choice today.
Hey, as a quick public service announcement before Nigel gets here, guess what's happening tomorrow morning, Dr. Kimberly?
Drum roll, please.
Second injection. Boom. Gonna be vaccinated. Number 2 tomorrow. 2 weeks from tomorrow, I'll be fully vaccinated, you know, for it to work in me. So people.
No, let's see. It's how many weeks? 2 weeks after?
Yep.
So
You got next Wednesday? Or are you good?
I believe that I am now. No, I got a couple more days.
Okay.
I got my second vaccine on the 14th of April.
All right.
And today I got my very first COVID testing. Can you believe it? Yeah, I have to have a procedure on Monday. So you have
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, the new normal.
You gotta make sure you're not COVID. All right, here comes Nigel.
Hey, Nigel. Hey.
What's up, Nigel?
What's up?
What's up? So nice for you to join us on today.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah, you're.
thanks for having me.
absolutely. So do you know a guy named Gerard that helps you out at the gym?
Yes,
That's my son.
That's his mommy, Dr. Barrington. He's a really nice guy, right? Tell her how nice he is. This is his mom. This is one of Nigel's workouts.
Oh, wow. And that right there, guys, is my son. That's my oldest.
Nice. Because you got to keep working out, Nigel, because your mom told us you participate in Special Olympics, and we're going to move our offices and we're going to co-locate with Special Olympics Michigan.
Wow.
And they have their own gyms, and they're raising money to have a cool workout space like that. So you'll probably come up here and be part of some national competitions. So we'll look forward to meeting you at Special Olympics Michigan.
That would be great, right?
yeah.
Because your mom said she likes snow. So we'll make sure it's in the winter time so she gets plenty of snow.
Yes, he does. He was asking. I was like, Nigel, it's April. You know, we're about to roll into May, but you know what? Like, this is Georgia. You wake up and it's freezing, and the next day it's 100 degrees. So climate change, I'll say.
Climate weirding. Climate weirding.
Yeah, climate weirding, yes.
Hopefully the big storms stay away from y'all this year.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
All right. So Nigel, what do you got going on today?
Do you have anything special going on today? No?
Yeah.
Or tell them what you got going. I don't know what do you have going on today? Share it with everybody. What do you have? What do you got to go pick up?
Are you getting new glasses, a new wheelchair, a new car to drive?
Tell them what you're going to pick up, Nigel. What do you have going on today?
Oh, I gotta go get a car
Look at the camera.
from Manheim of Atlanta.
Did you hear him?
So Mannheim from Atlanta, what's that?
Tell them what that is.
That's an auction
He's going to the auction.
out there.
Yes. Yes, he does pickups. That's one of his many jobs.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
So my husband is a wholesale dealer, used car broker, And so they go to the auction, and Nigel's uncle is a transporter. So we will drive behind them to go and pick up a vehicle when it's in state. So that's Nigel, that's my giving back to him and allowing him to do some of the things that he likes to do. And that's get out this house any chance he gets.
Excellent.
All right now.
Yeah.
Nigel is a transporter. Mm-hmm.
And what do you do at night? When you leave the house, where do you go?
Sometimes I go and visit a Parker.
When you visit Parker, oh my goodness. You tell me you drive the buses. I thought that's what you did.
Yeah.
And tell him who is Parker.
My girlfriend.
All right.
Nice.
And she's graduating this year.
All right.
now, Parker. She got a nice looking young man there. Mm-hmm.
She's 22 years old and Nigel's 19.
What?
Well.
Oh, all righty then. Well, we want to say thank you so much for coming on the show today, Nigel. We appreciate you.
It is great meeting you, Nigel.
It's great meeting you too.
All right. And I believe that puts a period in the week for us. We had a full week. And if you missed the show, you can always go back and watch the replay. And they are also on YouTube. So like, share, subscribe, and we will see you on next week.
Bye-bye.